Okay. Get some ID, get some boss damage. Critical rate is decent without any in your IA. What are you doing for your IA? Are you saving up honor experience points?
Yeah, right now I'm at 300k, so I want to get like attack speed with mana circulators and then just roll for boss and ID. But I'm not sure that's like the most optimal thing.
So yeah, that's not the most optimal thing.
Alright.
The most optimal would be to circulate for crit rate or, well, probably for crit rate on second or third line, and then wait and do that while there's a circulator sale, and then wait until there's an inner ability sale, and then lock the critical rate and your tier and roll for attack speed on the top line. That would be the
Alright,
optimal way of
so
doing
the
it.
top one is attack speed with inner ability, with honor XP, and the rest is circulators.
Yeah, so circulator first, and then honor experience.
Yep.
So you'll be like without the attack speed rank for a bit. Hopefully not as long as like my marksman, but that would be the most optimal way of getting both a good top line and a good like second or third line.
Yeah, alright. So you
And
said
sorry.
crit rate on the second or the third? Or?
Yeah, second or third, as long as it's a unique line. So you can check exclamation mark IA and then look at the percentages to know if it's a epic line or a unique line. I'm pretty sure you get 20% if it's a unique line. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, alright, I'll check it out.
Yep. Yeah, and just keep getting honor experience. So you get it from bosses, from monsters. If you have more drop rate, you get more of them from monsters as well. And then from doing weekly dojo runs, right?
Alright.
Yep. Just do one run every week as well for everyone in the chat. If you just do one run a week, just go as far as you can or to the highest decimal you can, you know, like to 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever. And then on Monday, you'll get your rewards, and those points you can use in the store to buy honor medals. You could also buy some from the Ursus shop if you really want to, if there's like a sale and you want to get as many rolls as possible. That's also possible. Okay, 10 crit rate, 8 critical damage, 5 ignored defense, 8 damage, 5 boss damage, 5 okay, seems all okay. Okay, a lot of final damage, I love it.
I don't quite get what final damage is. Like, is that... What is it?
Basically, it goes straight into your range. Like, let's say you have, if you have no final damage and you gain 100% final damage, then your range just doubles.
Oh, nice.
But if you already have 100% final damage and you gain 10%, then it's multiplicative. So then you go up to 120%. Because you gain the 10% and you gain 10% of what you already had. So it still becomes the same multiplication. It still is just plus 10% to your overall damage. But because it is because that happens, because it's 10% to everything, that's why it has to be multiplicative in its calculation. And that's why if you look at all of the sources of final damage you have and you add them all up, like just the numbers, you add the numbers up, it's not going to be 142 because all the numbers have to be multiplied to get to 142. Yeah.
Alright.
But yeah, so the more sources you have, like the more your damage goes up, basically. Yeah. And that's why people sometimes say like characters have inflated range. That's because of the multiplicative nature of final damage.
Oh, okay.
So if you compare your completely unbuffed with buffed range, it goes like, yeah, it's like way more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1 mil to 2 points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, well, yeah. So yeah. So normal is probably like 1.1, and then because 142 on 1.1 would be like almost 1.5 extra. So, yeah. Yeah. There you go.
I send you both the stats with the Eternal Flame and both without because it expires like on the 23rd.
Right. That gives you arcane power.
Yep.
And what else does it give you?
It gives me a lot of shit actually. It gives
boss damage and IED.
All stats, 50% attack power, boss damage 10%, IED 10%, 10% XP, 50% arcane power.
Okay.
It's a really OP title.
Yeah, it's really good. How long does it last when you open it?
It's a month.
A month. Okay. That is pretty good. Your hyperstat distribution looks good. Do you have some points in like weapon and magic attack as well?
Yeah, I have 5 and 5 in Arcane Force. I worked through your video yesterday.
I was gonna say this looks like somebody who actually looked at the video, and now you're gonna start adding to ID and boss damage again, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I did dailies, and I think I multiplied my damage to Vanishing Journey.
Oh yeah.
So that was like
nice.
Insane.
Yeah. So that really the video really helped then. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Okay, matrix. Oh, matrix point. You have matrix points. Do you see those?
Yeah. Wait, hold up. Oh, let me open that. I mean, I see it, but. Alright.
So every level past 200, you get one matrix point, and that allows you to level up the slot of the matrix itself, not the actual skill, but the slot itself. And then when you put a skill in the matrix slot that is leveled, then you add the levels together. And if you,
What?
yeah, so you can click slot enhancement, and then if you click that,
Like,
you can click on a slot, yeah,
oh,
and then you can level it up to level 5. And that
That's
just
crazy.
boosts the skill that is equipped in the slot. So you can
So
move
what
it
should I
around.
put that?
Probably your boost node and burning soul blade, I think it's called,
Yeah.
because that
Yeah,
makes a
yeah.
little bit more uptime if I remember correctly. Because your world reaver, that that's already, the cooldown doesn't go down and it's already a one shot. Instinct is very much just for bossing. Speed infusion doesn't give you anything, and I think rope lift would just give you a little bit more all stat.
Yeah, but if I like put it on the bind, that doesn't matter either, right?
The cooldown would go down a little bit, but probably by like 10 seconds or something. And maybe it will do a little bit more damage, but you know, damage on a bind is already pretty much insignificant. Yeah. So it's purely for boost nodes in the beginning, just so you can get easy levels. Because now you're going from level 9 to level 14, so you just get 10% more final damage on all your skills.
All right.
And a little bit more duration on your burning soul blade. And if you ever just want to switch, you could just drag the skills to another slot and you level up another one.
Oh.
And so every level you will get a point. So after a while you just have you have a bunch of rows just all level 5 upgraded. You're still looking for your second boost node, I guess.
Yeah, I heard that you need like with the same things, so you can max it to level 50, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, so the highest level you can go to is 50, but if you have them equipped in a slot that is level 5, you can go up to 60. Like those levels go on top of that. So the highest multiplier would be plus 120% final damage. If you have it 2 level 25 nodes in level 5 slots and you have the skill on 2 different nodes.
Okay, so I just need the Rise and Rage, Final Attack, and Rage and Blow on 2 slots?
Yeah, but in a different order, because you can only equip one boost node with the
Yeah.
same top skill. So it has to be either...
So I'm working on that, yeah.
Yeah, so as long as it's
I
not
have
a
a lot-
final attack or a raging blow top skill, you can just throw the other ones away, basically.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
I've been saving the Final Attack and Rage and Blow, but like I'm considering like should I get boost notes for Panic and Puncture as well, or there's no need?
No, there's no need, no. You just focus on getting more fifth job skills and like more decent skills. You can get decent sharp eyes in there. You can even get decent combat orders in
I have
there.
at level 1.
Yeah.
I have combat orders and sharp
Weapon
eyes level
aura,
1.
yeah, I see them there. And you have the other
Yeah.
common skill, and in like 4 months or so, I mean that's a little bit far, but we're getting another really OP fifth job skill that basically gives you 20% damage and 60% all stat.
The Maple Warrior
yeah.
thing.
So you want to have space for that one as well. And if you start doing more bossing, you'll need the like Fatal Strike 1 as well if you make that one every week. So yeah, you're gonna have plenty of stuff to to equip. Don't worry. And then later, some people even level up their rope lift just to get more all stats, for example. And maybe even for mopping, you could use Urda Shower maybe for a little bit map clear. It's a pretty good.
I've never tried
vertical.
a skill actually. And I didn't disenchant it just because it might be useful.
Yeah. No, I see people use it and it's pretty nice. And then the more monsters it hits, the faster the more the cooldown goes down. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Legion. Oh, that's a small Legion.
Yeah. Well, this account is like 3 months old. 3 weeks. Sorry.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
blame me.
Okay. No, totally. Okay.
I've been working on it though, pretty hardcore. Like it was. I had like 3 less level 140s about a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing. So how are you doing it to get to 140?
Well, I usually go like up to 20 and then 20 to 30 golems and Savage Terminal to level 50, Eluin Forest to 60, and like I have it written down. I have a few training options depending on like map size and what fits the class.
Yeah. Okay. And do you usually just go up? You train up all the way up to 140, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I do it like it takes me about 2 days
Yeah.
per character, maybe 3. But Luminous has been like bad, so it's level 30 something right now.
Oh yeah. Okay. What I usually do
Damage
is I get
is
them to level 100, and then just do Zakum and Monster Park on them
to
until
112.
140. Just every day only Zakum and Monster Park, and then log back into another character Zakum, and then another character Zakum, another character Zakum, and then just move on to a new character and train it to 100, and then just very
Oh,
slowly level them all up with Zakum and Monster Park. It's a little less viable now because I used to be able to do 2 Zakum runs a day. You can only do 1 a day now. So it'll be a little bit slower, but Monster Park is a really good experience when you're low level, and it usually doesn't require very high damage either. So, maybe that's something to but if you're still going
I'll
for
keep that
the
in mind.
Monster Park medal on your main, then yeah, you don't want to take your runs away, of course.
Yes, kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then it's probably fine what you're doing now.
Mhm.
I see you. Oh, you only have 7 characters that are eligible right now, but you bless you.
Thanks.
But you could do 2 more characters in your legion right now, at least on the
Yeah.
picture.
I leveled it to level like to rank. Wait, what rank is it? I leveled it with the 120 coins.
Ah, it's rank. You have over 1k now.
No, not yet. I have 950, but oh right, it's a yeah. I have enough either way. I'm gonna do it as soon as I get to 1k.
Yeah, so if you get 1k, then it gets bigger. And then at 2k, the grid starts getting bigger with every 1k. So that's nice. And then at 3k, it gets bigger, and you get to add 4 characters, I think, instead of 1. So that's also cool. Or is it even 5 characters? It's a big amount. You can check on !Legion to make sure to know the details. But yeah, you know all about like which link skills are important, which ones aren't very important, which order.
About the links, I do know. I don't know about the order. I'm gonna make a beast tamer when it comes out. I don't know if I need the luminous that much, which is why I kinda don't have as much motivation. But I got the demon slayer DA in Arc,
Mm-hmm.
and the Kana. I know Hayato is important. Um, that's about it. But I kind of check before I start a character. Those are the ones
I
I
see.
remembered. And the Phantom, I started one, and then I was just like, I can't train this thing.
Yeah, there's Mega Burn coming in a week, so I would advise to just Mega
Yeah.
Burn a Phantom. Critical rate is typically very nice for a hero because your base critical rate is pretty low. So if you get a Marksman and a Night Lord in your Legion, that will also give you crit rate if you select them, so from the member bonus. And then link skill wise for hero, yeah, it's mainly just about damage stuff. So Kana, Demon Avenger. Probably, like for bossing, probably Kadena is nice. Because if you're higher level than the monster, you get plus 3% damage. And then if the monster is like has a status effect on them, you get 3% more, and you're gonna always have them status effect. So then
Yeah,
it goes
always.
up
I
to 6 and
definitely remember to
6.
do that.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. You gotta do like puncture and panic, and then it goes to 6 and 6. So then it goes to 12% more damage. So that's nice. And Arc, if you don't have that one yet, Arc is very easy
yet.
to keep up, and that goes up to 16% damage if you stay in combat.
Yeah, that was the first one I made, I think. No, it was after the DA, but I
Oh yeah.
have 140.
Okay. Yeah, and it's also like very strong, so easy to do.
Yeah.
Um,
I leveled so fast.
yeah. Do you have your like experience links?
No, not yet. That's the thing, because that's what I want to burn, because Mercedes, like, I'll quit the game if I don't burn.
Yeah, so probably burn Mercedes and Phantom. I guess those are probably my top 2 picks for anyone to burn, even if you kind of like the characters. They're so slow early on. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So well, you have those 2 on the list. Yeah, and then so you said which one did you say? Shade, right? Oh no, Jet.
What?
Well, whichever one. Hayato, Shade, and Jet are all good for critical damage. So once you have your critical rate up to 100%, then those become very, very good damage multipliers. And then the Kinesis link also gives you critical damage.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to make a kinesis, like somebody told me yesterday.
Yeah. The intro thing is kind of long, but they're pretty strong. I think they're pretty fun. But yeah, so like everything that's in in yellow here, like those are kind of important, except for the Wild Hunter is not very important for you, and the Angelic Buster is only.
Isn't that like resistance?
Wild Hunter, yeah, resistance, yeah. So later that becomes kind of important because of the immunity skill as well for bossing. Once you start doing like everything CRA and up, then you want to have the resistance links, yeah.
So it is important to me.
They're super useful. Well, yeah, but there's probably like a lot of them that are super important. There's probably like 15 links and or 15 characters that are like pretty important to level up, yeah. But I would say less important than the other ones we mentioned. Ilium isn't super important. It's more for mobbing and if you're moving around a lot.
Because you like jump while raging blowing.
Yeah, if you always want to jump attack, but if you're always moving around the map and everything, then it can be useful for training. But for bossing, typically this one isn't great unless you're like a Nightwalker, yeah, and you're always like jump attacking.
Yeah.
And Angelic Buster is just for the burst. So that's much later actually. So Angelic Buster should probably be a little bit lower compared to, but it's just because Dex is here that it was picked earlier, I guess. Yeah, and then after that, it's just like you just look at the strength just to fill up more strength in your Legion. If you select those, it all adds up pretty quickly.
Is strength the priority with my Legion?
Well, so after these, so I would say focus on critical rate, and then on critical damage, and then on finishing the rest of the damage ones and the EXP ones, and then after that strength, like in that order, I would say. I remember when you do Jet, you also get access to the Jet Link skill, which also gives you access to rolling for weapon attack and strength as well. Do you know how that works, the Link skill?
No, but I'll check it. I don't want to waste too much time.
Oh yeah. Well, it's basically like potential, and you cube it. That's kind of how it works. The one bonus you have is that you can rearrange, like you can clockwise, you can rotate the potential so that it fits what you want, and then after you get what you want, you have to lock it in with another cube, basically. And the more cubes you use, the longer it stays the way it is. If you don't lock it, it'll reset again. So yeah.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah, it is kind of expensive. It's like a big one-time investment, but it is worth it in the long term. Okay, let's get to the gear. Flame. You got everything, or most of things legendary with DMT and everything?
Yeah, the things that I want to keep, I got the legendary. The things I'm going to replace, I didn't get past unique or epic, like whatever they were.
Yep, okay. That's good. So, 2 lines on the pants, nice. You're going for the gloves to transfer hammer the gloves to Absol?
Yeah, to Absol.
Mm-hmm.
The pants I got in 7 cubes to 21%, and the top I got in 3 cubes to 18.
Nice. That's good enough to keep for a while, because they have so many junk lines. Oof.
I mean, they're hard to cube.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, not a bad flame.
On what?
On the eye, not too bad. 20 strength, 3 attack. It's something. The tattoo, not so much. 38 luck.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Like I flamed it again today, and I got like 27 def.
So yeah. No, they're gonna be shitty flames for sure.
That's fine. As long as my cubes are lucky.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you want both to be lucky, of course, but
Of course.
You know about the flame scores and everything?
I do. I haven't looked into that enough.
Okay. Well, you know how to calculate it?
No, not really.
Okay, so if you check exclamation mark flames, so basically you can calculate your score of your flame. You will get just a number, and then that number you can compare to other numbers to see which flame is better. Because your character is still forming and sources of damage are still changing, and some are maybe a little bit further than others. Something might be better for you, even though the flame score looks lower, but that's because your stats are still like fluctuating. So if you keep this in mind, you'll basically be calculating how good it will be eventually once all your stuff is upgraded pretty far. So what you do is you take your main stat and then you add your, so for you it would be weapon attack, and you multiply it by 4, and then you add your all stat percentage of your flame and you multiply that by 8, and then you'll have your score of your flame. And then that way you could compare your flame. So if you do that for your CRA stuff, for example, like your hat is 52 because you have no weapon attack and no all stat. Your top
So it's
is
level 6, right? It's like level 6 flame.
I don't know the exact
I think
levels,
that's
but
right.
at this point the levels don't matter anymore because you're just looking at the score now. So the top is 52. The hat, the hat is 52. The top is 80, right? Because 5 times 8, 40 plus 40 on strength, so 80. So that flame is way better. And then the pants is 5 attack power, so that's about 20. And then 6 all stat, so that's 48. So together that's 68. So out of those 3 flames, your hat would be the weakest of the 3. And then your pants, and then your top. So your top is at 80. That is probably like a really good, that's like a good baseline for you to have right now. That's not end game or anything, but that's like pretty good. If you have like over 75 or something with your current situation, like that's a good flame you want. So there's still some progress to be made with the hat and with the pants, but it's not necessary to do that right now. Basically. And then yeah, as long as there's another tier of higher numbers that's available, then you can kind of expect higher value from the flames. So initially, CRA like 75 to 80, like that's really good. For Abzo, you probably want to get like 85 to 90, so about 10 higher. And then later in the game for CRA, you want to get 90 to 100. And then for Abzo, you want to get 100 to 110. And then for endgame, just like 10 more on top of that. So like for CRA, 100, maybe a little bit over 100, 105 or something. And then for Abzo, 115, maybe 120, like around there would be like endgame.
Okay.
So that's kind of how you can compare. And the Pink Holy Cup falls under the same level as the CRA stuff for your calculations.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so your shoulder is just a placeholder.
Yeah.
Reinforced pendant, nice. Did you get anything superior or not yet?
Not pendant and belt, but my ring, my ears are, and I have ring. But I heard you want to get like reinforced ears and the superior belt for the 3-3.
Yeah, so that would be like the optimal set for a while. If you're going just mobbing and not really like hardcore bossing yet. If you go 2 reinforced pendants with a reinforced earring, and then the wait, hang on. So 2 reinforced pendants and the reinforced ring, and then superior ring, superior belt, and superior earring. Then that's like the best combination of stats for a 3-3 combination. But you'll probably only be in that configuration for a little bit. Because the extra weapon attack is nice, but because you have pretty quick access to Star Force and everything, you can get that weapon attack. You know, that like 15 extra weapon attack, or what is it, or like 25 is nice for a bit, but it isn't super important.
You know what I want is the boss damage.
Yeah, eventually you want the IED and the boss damage, like that's really sick.
So you get like superior and reinforced pendant, and then the rest is the same.
At first probably, yeah, and then later on you go to 2 superior pendants, and then you switch the earring to the Sweetwater earrings. Because then you don't need the earrings anymore for the force set effect, and then you can make the Meister earrings, get into 16 star, and then flame them. And then for flames, you got to do like the same thing again. So typically for flames, on Meister earrings, people aim for somewhere between 110 and 115 flame score. Sometimes people settle for a little bit lower, which is fine. Like somewhere between 105 and 110 is still really good. But 115 or higher is like ideal, is like perfect. That's what people strive for. And then once you have it 16 star, you transpose it into Sweetwater earring, and then you cube that one and wear that one. And then, because the superior set effect will be settled by your belt, 2 pendants, and the ring. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's for like a lot later, but just in the future. So, if you want to make those, then you need confusion fragments to make the earrings, for example. So You know where you get those?
Like from bosses and heartstones. I already have like 6.
Yep. So it's Madman, Remaru, and Ark who dropped them, and then
Yeah,
from
I do
the
them every day.
from the big veins
They've
and
been
everything. Yeah.
raping me with like fucking primal essences. I got none.
Oh yeah, yeah. The primals is yeah. That's another thing because then for Meister rings you're doing the thing where you get the strong ring and then another strong ring and transfer hammer it into superior. Yeah, primals is the big the bottleneck there.
It is right now. I think I have like everything other than that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to be, but yeah, you'll never know how many you really need to make. So typically, the grand spell essences can be a bottleneck too because those aren't
They
super
are.
common,
Yeah.
but you get them quite a bit just from killing monsters, but you still need a lot of them. So
Yeah, you need a lot. Like,
yeah,
I have only 120 right now.
yeah, they're not very forgiving. Okay, so you got your reinforced, superior. You got 6% on everything. Get your shield, attack, crit rate, dex. Ah, there's some of your crit rate. Okay, I was wondering why your crit rate was that high.
Yeah.
Beefy Von Bon. ID. Oh, you got attack, 9% attack. Let's see. 40 attack, 8% boss. Oh, that's nice.
It's the flame that came with the weapon.
It came with that? Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
is that tier 6 attack? 1/4, 25%. Let's check real quick. First we got attack power increase, weapon, boss, weapon 115. Oh no, it's probably a tier 5. A tier 5 attack with the tier 4 boss damage. I don't know, it's pretty good. 9% attack, 30% ID line. Ah, that's the ID. That's why I thought you had a line in that. 12% attack on the emblem. Nice badge. Lol. So you're using reinforced right now, but you're reinforced superior, of course. You got the tyrant cape. So the tyrant cape is also something that is considered a boss item that can get these flames and that you can hold to those standards of those flame scores, and they're also 150. So between the CRA hat, top and bottom, and the pink holy cup, when you oh yeah, you have one, and the tyrant cape, and if you get the tyrant shoes as well, these are all.
Now where do I go Absol?
Oh, you're gonna go straight to abs, okay. But so those 5 items, those all fall under the same numbers that are good when you're looking at flame scores. So basically, when one of those items is like really low, those are the items you look for first to flame because they can get really big values. Like let's say you get a really good flame on your tattoo now, then you gain like 50 stat. But if you get a really good flame on your cape, then you gain the same thing. But it's way more likely to gain that on your cape now because there are, there's always 4 lines that are improved because it's a boss item and your tattoo is not a boss item. So there's way more variance there.
I see.
So between your cape, your hat, your top, your bottom, and the pink holy cup, I would just calculate the flame scores and see which one are the lowest. See how much the difference is between the highest and the lowest.
Yeah. Which one needs the most attention right now?
Yeah, so because I think your cape is at 40 flame score, and your top is at 80. So that's twice as good. So so if your flame is like similar on all your items, you gain like 200 strength, I think, which is the same as leveling 5 extra characters from level 1 to 140. That all give you strength in Legion and putting them all in Legion. So on that level, you have to like look at what is my time worth. Like maybe my time is worth now to farm and to get flames and to try to get lucky with flames. Maybe that's more worth than working on Legion. Always your time is always like a currency. Is like where can I spend it best? Of course, you want to do a combination of the things. Do a little bit of training here that makes you some money, a little bit of working on a Legion that maybe also makes you a little bit money, but helps you work towards a bigger Legion, towards a little bit of more strength in your Legion. And then the combination of all those things hopefully, helps you go in the right direction. You got spirit earrings, nice. Okay, you got your codex set and everything, right?
Yeah, it's the
Leafer set, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the big damage gains will be if you get your shield or your emblem to 2 lines of attack instead of 1. That's going to be a lot of damage going up. That can be pretty expensive, of course. So you definitely want to save up a bit of money before you try to go for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where you're going to be making a lot of gains. And then for flaming, so look at those 5 items, calculate the flame scores, and then look at which item needs the flames the most, and then I would say try to get all of those items to around like 75 or 80 flame score, and then start working more on the other items, but only the ones that you're gonna keep for a while.
Okay. I was gonna ask about cubing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Because we said we want to get like 2 lines of attack on the emblem or the shield.
Yeah, you said you had like
But
30 cubes now, or?
I have 30 cubes and I make about 200, 300 mil a day right now because I don't have Meso gear on my Kana. I'm a filthy bye-bye farmer.
Okay. Do you want to invest it into Mesogear and Kana first then?
No, that's because my goal is to solo Damien by the 21st. I know it's like a far fetch, but
solo
like
Damien by 21st.
I'm gonna try. Look, even if I clear it, I count this as a win. But like I'm gonna like invest as much as I can on my hero until then.
Okay.
Because my range gains have been going pretty solid, like by the day, and I want to see if I can. And if I can't, then I'll try again like next month for a solo, for example. But only after the 21st, I'm gonna start investing in my Kana's gear.
Okay.
Like my Meso gear.
I mean, that's ambitious. You know, my hero has like, I think just over double your range. I'm pretty sure my hero is nowhere near, so
Yeah.
just for comparison. But I mean, it is it's a goal that you have, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, emblem over secondary then, because your secondary already has 9% crit rate as well, which is something that you still rely on right now. So the crit rate has more value for you than anything else that's on your emblem, right? Because it's only, what is it, luck and dex or something?
Yeah, luck and dex, yeah.
Luck and intellect, yeah. So try to go for 2 lines on the emblem.
Okay. And do I not want to touch like anything else? Because my monocle is like 13% strength, and my rings are all epic with 6. Like.
Well, I am. If you get that to unique, well, you're gonna gain 3%. If you get it to unique, and then you get 1 line or 2 line, it's gonna go to 9 or 12. So you'll gain like 3 or 6% strength. But if you compare 3 or 6% strength to 1 line of 9% attack, like if you can get an extra 9% attack on the emblem, that's like getting 3 items that are epic now, 2 unique and 2 lines in just 1 item.
Okay.
It's just so much better.
Yeah.
No, I'll let him dream. It's ambition. It's very good to have ambition and these goals. And even if he doesn't make it, then he will learn a lot from it, and then that'll just.
Why?
You know.
Because they're just talking shit.
No, I was doing a cringe face to the stream about because I don't think you're gonna make it. But there's.
You're talking shit.
A little bit. Oh, by the way, did you get the Kana treasure ring and that kind of stuff?
No, I haven't done any of that.
Because if you get the Kana treasure ring and the shoulder, you can wear both of those. And then that's an upgrade for the shoulder, and that will be an upgrade for your ring as well. So just putting that out there.
Yes, I didn't think I need to do that with my hero, because I was gonna get like a Meiser ring and Absol shoulders, but like that's gonna be way further.
You still need to get the ring though. Yeah, you don't need to do for Princess No, like you don't need the Princess No secondary, but running, well, yeah, no, as a weekly boss, like the crystal is probably not worth it either. But you want to get the kind of treasure ring though. That's so your best in slot would be like High Star Meister ring, and then High Star Meister transfer hammered into Superior, and then for the last 2 slots, you either use the solid Galax ring, the reinforced Galax ring, or the Kana treasure ring, whichever one doesn't blow up. Did you see me Star Force last Sunday? With the rings?
I think I just missed it. I think I came in pretty late.
Okay, so yeah, so what you do is you just get all 3 of those rings, the solid, the reinforced, and the Kana treasure. You get them all to 17 by like safeguarding and getting them to 17. And then the weakest, which is technically the solid ring, I guess, but it's about the same as the Kana treasure ring. You try to get that one to 18, and if that works, you try to get the Kana treasure also to 18, and if that works, you get the reinforced to 18, and then you just one by one in that order, you just try to get them up. As soon as one booms, you're done, and you just equip the other two, and then you're done with your best in slot, basically.
And then I can't start them any further, right?
Yeah, no, then you can never start them any further. So if you get unlucky and you boom the first one first try, you're just fucked, but at least you're over, and then you're done, and you can spend your money on something else instead of throwing billions at it, and then, you know.
It's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought was gonna happen, but I ended up with a 19-star Kana treasure and solid, so...
Streamer's luck.
Yeah. Of course, I blew up the reinforced, which was already 27% strength, because, I'm not gonna spend all that money recubing. Yeah, but that's like for later, but you eventually want to have the Kana treasure for that, and until you get the Absolab, the Kana treasure and the shoulder together give a set bonus for a little bit of percentage damage, which is nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so good luck on the cubing on the emblem, dude. If you get it on the emblem, after that, probably the shield, and just keep working towards more critical rate, both with circulators and with your legion.
Okay. I'm keeping my sword at unique right now because I'm transferring it to the Absol, right?
Yeah, that's probably fine. It has 30% ID and 9% attack, which is already useful, and you wouldn't be...
Wait, it's gonna keep the potential?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, the potential now is fine, and even if you get it to unique, you probably... to legendary, you probably wouldn't roll for something that's very much better than that anyway. So the money is probably spent better spent on your secondary and on your emblem, yeah.
And after... Let's say I get really lucky, and my emblem and shield get 2% attack, like, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 lines attack.
Mm-hmm.
What do I go for?
Then...
Monocle and Tattoo?
Then more... yeah, so for first the monocle, try to get 2 lines of useful strength on that. And after that, probably I wouldn't touch the tattoo because it's 17. I'd probably try to go for like a little bit of tier up on... Wait, so you don't have any superior accessories?
I have the earrings.
Yeah, but I mean, sorry, no drops, I mean.
Ring, but no,
Yeah.
nothing else. I've been unlucky.
That's a little
To
unlucky.
be honest, I kind of can't solo Helix yet.
Ah, okay.
I'm really close.
What is... Yeah, yeah, so it's just a damage thing for solo Helix?
I think I could probably do it damage wise. Oh, maybe not the thing, the
gem?
crystal. Yeah, the gem. That's what it was.
Oh yeah. Are you doing
But,
using all of your
doing
monster
pretty well.
park potions and stuff, like your attack speed and...
I've been using it, but like now I don't really.
Okay.
I have a few XP and a few like attack speeds.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't use the red ones.
Yeah.
And no, I'm mainly like doing it mechanically.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm just saying, yeah, if your goal is to solo Damien in 3 days, then soloing Helix has to be like something you do every day, because the ID and the boss damage from the accessories is like something you're just gonna need 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that should be like the first goal, to try to get that guy down every day consistently.
Yeah, I mean, I went to solo Von Bon. Like, we failed a few attempts with my guild, and then I was like really mad because, like, we went to HMEG as well, and I died like 14 times in a row. Like, I'm like jumping, buffing, and dying. That was like 14 times, and I was pissed, and I was like, no, that's not my level. So I just went to Von Bon, and I did like 60% of his damage
Mm-hmm.
before I died. So I think like with a few more damage items and a bit more mechanical practice, I'll be able to solo at least Von Bon.
Did you see my very first Van Bon run?
When?
It took like half an hour. Because I kept hitting him in the dark portals and getting more and more time on the run, and I just kept going and kept going.
That's what I did.
Yeah, like you could get him pretty far, but eventually, once the portals stop spawning, you still run out of time. But you could stay in there for a while. You can practice the jumping and using your iframe and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing it way better, and
Yeah.
I moved like my iframe was on U, which is like really hard to reach from control.
You? Oh,
Then
yeah,
I
yeah. I
moved
had
it
to
to
move
like
mine as well. Mine was like
yeah,
on.
I moved it to W because like one time I opened my world map in the middle of a boss, and I was like, "Fuck it, that's out."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's never happened to me, but like now that
Yeah,
after
once is
like
enough.
12 years of playing, and now I open it mid boss, it's going straight to F12.
Yeah, yeah. Get that shit out of here. Yeah. I think I had mine on F first, and I think now I have it on Shift because that's where I have the Creeping Terror for my arc as well on Shift. Because basically you just tap it for damage if you know the boss fight really well, but if you need it, you can get to it very quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I have it
It's
there.
important that it'll be close.
Yeah. Like for the will run, I didn't move my. Usually, I move my key, my NPC chat from Y to S on my Demon Avenger, and then because then it's much easier. Y is a little bit too far to like very quickly switch for me in like phase 1. But now on my arc, I didn't have it and was always like looking for the Y, but I managed to do it still because the run was so fucking quick.
How did the run go, by the way?
It was insane. Like I thought it was normal for a bit because of how fast we were doing it. But yeah, everyone was really strong. Yeah.
Wow.
I think we had our Night Lord, I think with like 9 trill burst or something, and we had like a really strong Aaron, 275 Bishop who's like godly as fuck. So, and I tested my battle analysis afterwards, and my burst is now 4.3. So
4.3.
that's pretty good. That's like
I can't even compare it to something. That's how insane.
Yeah. Yeah, like and the survivability on phase 2 is so much better than against than with the DA. Oh my god, it's so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard what you were saying that like if you get hit as a DA, like if you get low, you die, but
Yeah, you just wait.
Not
Yeah,
die.
if you dodge, you like still die, but then yeah, because the familiars heal percentage wise of your HP, but it's capped somewhere, I think. So DAs heal only like half as much from a familiar.
oh shit.
And every attack you do, you deal self damage, but you don't get the life steal because healing is blocked.
Yeah.
So everything you do, you just kill yourself even faster. Even when you use the dash to not get pushed into the webs, for example, that dash kills you as well because it deals damage. And then if you dash through 2 attacks, they hit you at the same time, so both the damage counts and then you're dead. It's like
Feels
so
good.
frustrating, but it should be a little bit better in like 3 to 4 months when we get the DA update. But yeah, it's like normal to die 2, maybe 3 times in phase 2. However, if the run would be as fast as this one was, I probably would die a little bit less as well. But yeah, it definitely feels a lot less stressful, so that's nice. But yeah, just make sure you keep doing your arcane dailies and everything, and buy the items from the store to get those. Maybe this Sunday you'll get lucky with a lot of symbols.
Yeah, maybe. I'm kind of counting on it. Like that and nodes. I also got a feel like my Vanishing Journey is level. Choose level 8.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like?
Wait, are both of them level 8?
No, the Vanishing Journey is level 9. I have 285 Arcane Force at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I leveled both of them today, like after I took the screenshots.
I think they catch up to each other. Well, they catch up to each other a lot later now. Usually they caught up to each other like around somewhere around level 8 or level 9, but they catch up later now because of Urda Spectrum.
I haven't been doing that actually. I probably should.
Yeah, that's probably why then it catches up, I think, around level 9. Otherwise, it takes like level 11 or something to catch up.
Yeah. It will because like Muto gives me so much more than.
Yeah, it's 15, but if you do both of them, then it's 14, so that's only one more. Yeah, so do Spectrum. It's pretty quick. Just when someone in chat, like I do it every day on my hero, so if you see me doing it, just message me.
I see you do it, yeah.
And then Tyrion also joins, because then we're just 3 heroes jumping around. We can just do it. Hero party.
Alright, whenever you do, I'll let you know that I'm also down.
Yeah.
Because I probably won't do it.
Yeah, if you're otherwise going to forget it, I'll make sure to yell at you every day when I go do it. And if you're in chat, then you'll be like, okay. Hey, what's up, Bolt? How you doing?
Hey, Bolt.
The hard world run was very good, Advocate. It was super fast. It seemed like it was going to be a scuffed run with a bunch of rejects, but we actually It was the best run I've had in a long time.
That's what happened with our Damien yesterday.
Yeah.
It felt like a scuffed run. Don't you remember?
Well, it was. Everyone was way too weak.
Dude, the guys are like, we've been talking. We stayed on the call, and like 20 minutes after, he's like, "Yo, do you guys like? How do you guys deal damage? Because I've been doing once to him the whole run, and like sometimes when I hit damage, did I like burst? But I like, why did I hit once? And we're like, did you hit once? What the fuck? What's your idea?" And he says 61. And dude, that's like, oh man, I'm never gonna forget that shit.
Okay.
He wasn't even aware. Ah, that's so funny.
If it's under 66%, then nothing gets through. Oh god.
And I mean, he's stronger than me in most bosses.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think about it.
Well, this
I'm
is why
Red
this is why people that still like compare like, oh, what's your range? What's your range? If you don't compare the boss damage, the IED, the critical rate, the critical damage, the arcane power, if you don't look at those things, then yeah, somebody can have like 10 times your damage, but maybe only hit for once, you know, and then you're way more valuable in a boss fight.
Yeah. We actually could have cleared it yesterday. Like.
Yeah, so we were only a 5-man. If we had 20% more damage than what we had, then yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I think.
It's like.
Yeah, I think we could have. That would have been like the ultimate success story struggle run, though.
Yeah. With Gisur, he's No, it was with Pete's familiar stuff, right?
Yeah.
The mushroom. And people transferring fucking attacks to each other.
It's always fun. Like that's when you know the run is fast enough and everyone feels more comfortable with the mechanics. Yeah, no. Some people were still practicing dodging stuff. Other people were giving each other stacks.
Like it was my first run, and I mean, the first run that like isn't practice because I've done one practice before.
Well, this was kind of practice for some people. I think for 2 people it was like the first time.
Yeah, maybe more even.
Yep.
And to be honest, I'm struggling way less with Damien than with Sivel. Sivel just fucking shits on me.
Are you soloing Sivo?
No, I'm not.
Oh yeah, because if you don't solo, then there are way more tails. So it actually is harder with more people to survive solo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's less tails if you're alone.
Yeah.
You can check the YouTube video that I have on Sivel if it helps you.
I have seen you do it a couple of times.
Yeah, you see me on stream do it sometimes. Yeah.
It's like it's impressive seeing you do it with the hero.
Yeah, with the hero, it actually takes a little bit of time and a little bit of skill. All the other characters, you just walk in, kill it, and stun.
Yeah, because like we were looking at you doing like Pierre too. I asked Masta like how is he gonna verse the Pierre fast enough for the split, and then he just said he's not going to. And then like you did it anyway when we failed with like a 5-man.
Yeah, and I did it that day. Yeah, crazy, right?
No, but you failed it then because you had one live left, and then like you couldn't die to lose.
That last one, yeah, that last one was really scuffed.
It was that one we were.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that one wasn't perfect. Yeah. Died a few times on res, so yeah, that was fucked. Because yeah, if you have the resistance link, then you can just res and walk away and rebuff and then restart. Yeah.
I think I really need that for HMAG because this guy just.
Yeah, HMAG is about being patient and just staying dead longer, so that you can let your cooldowns recharge. You basically go in, you burst him, you do as much damage as possible, and then you try to stay alive as long as possible, and then if you die, you just stay dead. And then when you get auto respawned, you run back to the middle of the map and try to stay alive as long as possible. And if you're dead, you just stay dead. And just wait until your cooldowns come back, and then go for another cooldown burst, basically. That's
what I've been doing is like
getting frustrated and then just jumping back in and then dying.
No, but I do wait for like if I see him using like abilities or whatever, then I wait for that to like be just on the like. That he finishes attacking, but he's not done with the animation. Then I spawn and then I get to him, and I don't have balls in my way. So
yeah. Oh, and we have impenetrable skin that you can get. It's a 5th job skill that makes you immune to his knockback for a little bit. If you have that 5th job skill, yeah. So his blue skill, when he pushes you, you don't get pushed by that if you have impenetrable skin on.
What?
Yeah.
That's OP. dude.
Yeah, it's pretty useful.
What the
Arc has
where is
Arc has that built in a hyperstat. If I'm in Spectre mode, I don't get knocked back by that either. Or by will pushes or anything like that. I just stand there and just take it.
Oh, there it is.
You just take
Holy
damage, but you don't
shit.
get pushed, yeah. And you also, I think, deal more damage the more times you get hit. And passively, it gives you HP and attack, I think.
Mhm.
So that's something for some bosses maybe that's useful to equip.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. By the way, should I disassemble Blink? Cause
Yeah,
that shit's
get rid of Blink, yeah. Still useless.
yeah.
Blink, door, those kind of things you can just auto disassemble, yeah.
Advanced blasting, do I keep it? Cause somebody told me to keep one, but
It does give you extra weapon attack. Yeah, you just keep one, I guess. Yeah, you'll maybe use it like a lot later. You'll probably have access to more decent skills because you only need 2 boost nodes. But some classes they need 5 or 6, and then something like advanced blasting is just never like in your brain at all. But for you, it might be useful at some point. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. Is there anything we didn't touch on, or anything you're still wondering?
I don't think so. Like I think we covered everything.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Good luck on the Legion, and good luck on the cubing,
Thank you.
and good luck with
Oh.
Damien. I believe in you. Okay.
I don't think you do. It's fine.
I believe that you will do your best.
That was like the shittiest thing. It's like a trophy for participation. Like
Yeah, we'll make a. You make. Do you know the meme when there's like a star and there's like you tried or something,
Yeah, you tried.
and then there's like other memes where the star is like drawn really really poorly and it's like
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was an attempt or something. It's like,
Yeah, it's so funny. That's the perfect reaction for this.
yeah.
I think what's gonna fuck me the most about Damien, if I ever get there, is like the phase 2 with the 10% reduce, cause
Like this one on stream.
what? What on stream? Oh. yeah, those ones. Man, I really like I have a huge but I can see it now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad we finally got that done.
Yeah, same.
Tick the green box. All right. And
You wanna run some bosses? Cause I don't think we're a full party.
I still got to do a few dailies. And by that I mean most of my arc ones and all of my DA and marksman ones.
Okay, that's enough. Right?
So probably a no.
Yeah. Alright.
But yeah, good luck, dude.
Hmm?
And I'll see you in chat.
Thank you. Yeah, thank
All
you.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Another satisfied costumer.